So the VIM, OpenText VIM is basically the accounts payable area.
Yeah, could you please maximize your screen? There is
yeah, sure. Can you see now?
Yes. There like audience that this contact is coming, so you can hide this contact also. So that would be like big screen then. I think you have to go to that, go to meeting.
I already minimized those chat screen or other.
Okay, but I'm seeing just a small screen, like that contact also coming, like 3 contact also coming in up. Let me do stocking. Hide it. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah. So SAP VIM is basically the accounts payable area. Are you aware about the SAP process in any AP or GL? Means, are you working in SAP platform?
Yes, I'm working as a SAP web consultant, and in my current organization they are using VIM, and also I want to move to that team, OpenText team. So because of that only I'm just keen to learn these things actually. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the accounts payable part basically from FI end, and as well as from MM end, that is some purchase order or integration point that we can see. So we can see how to actually in VIM we can posting the invoices automatically, and there have some configurations and some setup to post the invoices and to avoid the errors automatically. So this is the basically accounts payable setup. In accounts receivable or other area we cannot get the VIM service.
Okay, only payable.
Yeah, only payable. So this is the why we are using the VIM. That is the main. Those are the main functionality that is increasing automation and harmonize the account payable process across the different businesses, improve communication channels. Channels means we can use emails, IDOC, or any other client specific channel like Ariba or other channel we can use. Where after setup, those configuration means IDOC setup or email configuration setup, we can get the invoice automatically from the vendor. But without using VIM, yeah, we need to do manually, because we need to check manually what they are sending invoices and the manual posting, what any error or any vendor details, those need to check, reference name, number, those need to check. But for VIM area, we need not to check those things, because after setting some business rules and all other configuration, the invoice can post automatically. If there will be any error, then the exception will trigger before posting the invoices. So this is a strengthen controls through enhanced invoice tracking. We can track the invoices easily in the report area. The report is a very contingent basis. We can get the all details by using the VIM Analytics report. Means any details, tax code or any details and workflow details. We basically is a workflow based area. Means invoice is coming from vendor, and after that invoice going through some business rule and some other process options, And after that, the VIM, after checking all those, then invoice go to the approval workflow. After approving or rejecting, that needs to that can post automatically after approval. And if approval rejected, if anything wrong, then approval can reject the invoice. Then invoice can go to the purchaser inbox. That is the automatic workflow, and VIM triggers that workflow. Yeah. So that's why this is faster processing times, more efficient process, better visibility and management of key measures, and improve financials because we can avoid the late payment and reduce the duplicate payments, error payment, error related anything, we can reduce those things.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the process at a glance overview. The inbox, we can get the mail or fax, we can get the invoice image. We are using the archiving server and enterprise scan from OpenText. And in this area, the invoice is scanning thoroughly in OpenText area. After that, the invoice interpretation happening in ICC or BCC part. ICC part we used in older version, but currently we are using BCC. Most of all the functionality are same ICC and BCC.
Okay.
Little bit changes happening. And in this area, in this area, scan validation has been happening. Validation means the thing has been done properly or not. Yeah, we are using two part ICC area, validation and customizing. Two client we are using. For customizing, we need to set up some data, means we need to integrate with SAP server. Then we can get the vendor details or PO details, all data. And after picking those data, we can go for validation client that data is okay or not, that the software is checking. This is the OCR front end area, interface area. Yeah. And after those things, the invoice has been gone to the SAP server. And in SAP server, we can see the invoice images and all data in, and a document processing number has been created. Document processing, that is the invoice number, has been created. And we can see we are triggering some background jobs to change the document, that invoice number status means extraction has been completed, created. Those status we are configuring at a document processing status, means invoice status has been changed by triggering the background job execution. That is the main thing. Background job under DP documents or some background jobs is executing. Yeah. So processing those invoices and checking after the invoice came down in SAP server, checking all business rules, what we set up in SAP server, means business rules, it differs for PO invoice, non-PO invoice. There are two types of invoices. We are using PO invoice and non-PO invoice. Means for PO invoice, we are using Miro for manual posting that PO invoice, and for non-PO invoice like FB60 vendor plain invoice, we can use VIM to post that non-PO invoice as well as. So automatically post, so checking the process exception, process option. And after, if any exception will trigger, we need to check that, means if any invalid vendor or other exception will trigger, they need to check all those why this error is triggering. Need to check at PO, for PO invoices at PO level, and for non-PO invoices at invoice image and vendor data, all need to check. And after resolving the error, we can get the exception has been cleared, And after clearing the exception, the workflow has been triggered for approval workflow. Approval workflow means the DP can go to the approval invoice directly. And after approving the invoice can post automatically. And after that, a payment had been done. Got any question from your side?
No, for now there is no question. So you mean to say, like, as I'm understanding, so this is kind of automation to do the automation in AP. Sorry, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
and
Correct.
like vendor is doing something from their end, so that is coming. So what is this scanning validation? So he's scanning some kind of document or what?
Yeah, scanning actually invoice image, vendor is sending invoice image, and that
Okay,
is scanning happening. Yeah, invoice image, all data like vendor or invoice gross amount and item, all those things, invoices has been scanned and all data
okay,
has been picked. Yeah, that
okay.
is validating in validation client. All
Yeah,
data
yeah.
picked correctly or not from invoice image. Okay.
Okay, okay. So the vendor is sending kind of invoice images to, SAP. After that,
Correct.
they are reading that images, and that we are doing the validation on that one, and we are
Correct.
processing into FI, right?
Correct. 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 Correct.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the receive and record invoices. All incoming invoices and supporting documentation like including PO, non-PO, anything are sent to AP email address. Email addresses already Outlook email address is provided, and in SAP server we need to configure a little bit for to track those email, means Outlook email, those to track those email. Admin team is integrating that email with SAP server, and after that we can see that email invoices we can see, and all as well as in ICC server that email invoice image has been scanned.
Okay,
And for emailed invoices, use Microsoft Exchange add-on in VIM to extract the invoice and supporting documentation from the email. Means their vendor is sending one invoice image, one page or two, 3 page. Means sometimes they are sending 2, 3 pages. One page is a vendor name is showing, and other pages, other details are showing. So need to check, means need to track all those details.
okay,
So store PDF attached to the email, and as well as we need to configure in SAP server archiving document type PDF. Means we can get the invoice images as PDF format or TIF format, any format we can get. What you are configuring as per the client requirement in archive server setup in SAP server, then as well as accordingly you can get that PDF format or TIF format, you can see the invoice images. So
okay,
store PDF attached to the email in the archive server. Archive server means in OpenText providing some servers, and we are integrating those servers with SAP server. So that's why we are telling OpenText VIM. OpenText providing archive server, enterprise scan, ICC tool at where the data are validating, and some background jobs, hotspot jobs are executing, and PO data, those integrating with SAP server, means what vendor data exist in SAP server, that should be in ICC tool also. If anything missing, then invalid vendor or vendor data not exist, that error will come. Okay.
okay. So
So
here one
yeah,
question here. So this is archive server, and this kind of things also we will cover in our, this training. how to set up and all?
Yeah, I will provide a little bit idea regarding archive server and will provide some documentation as well as archive server, how they are working, and ICC, how they are working. I will provide this documentation also. Okay, so you can
Okay.
get a little bit idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, ICC server, currently ICC practice server, OpenText not providing ICC or BCC practice server, means OpenText providing to client directly ICC, BCC, archive server, enterprise scan, all those things, but not providing the practice server like SAP is providing IDES server. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay.
we can get the SAP VIM for practice purpose, but I will provide the document, some documentation to get the little bit idea how ICC or VCC archive server working. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, minimize volume of paper invoices through channel enablement efforts with vendor. Means if vendor is sending lot of papers, means for during the sending of scanned invoice image, if vendor is providing lot of papers, then we can compose those paper, and because due to memory we cannot get all papers, we can compose all those papers in a short memory. Means if vendor is sending 100 pages, so we can compose all those 100 pages within 20 pages, we can see all those data. So that archive server is working is like that. That's why we are using archiving server and enterprise scan, because memory support they are providing. Okay. So mail is physically opened and sorted batch invoices for scanning based on company code and invoice type. Company code we are providing in ICC tool, company code and invoice type, there maybe that is PO invoice or non-PO invoice, that we need to provide in ICC tool. And invoice is scanned by AP scanner to convert into a digital image. That scanning is happening in ICC tool, that is telling the OCR part that scanning is happening to completely. So all invoices and process improvement, what happening, all invoices sent to AP first for tracking and visibility. Centralize invoice receipt to eliminate issues where invoices are sent to the wrong location or multiple locations. Use the technology to automatically extract invoice image and trigger, and store images in an archive server, eliminate saving to desktop or shared drives, because we don't have enough memory to get those all papers in a general SAP server, because memory is limited. That's why OpenText is providing archive server. We can get all those data by composing all pages. Okay.
Okay.
And any question till now?
Yeah, there for now there is no question. So that all configuration, so that you will show in system, or you will provide most of the document like that, like how to set up and things and all.
Yeah, actually, I will show everything in SAP server. SAP server not issue, but before SAP server, what the little bit activities they are happening in archive server, because mainly we are configuring SAP server. Okay, and we
Okay.
just integrate SAP server with ICC tool and archive server and executing some background jobs. So we do not much more activities. We do not have much more activities in OpenText area. Mainly we have much more activities in SAP server, and we are integrating, connecting, means we are providing client details, system details, all those in ICC area, then those are integrating. Okay.
Okay.
So OCR automatically reads key data from the PDF invoice image That is the main data that will be vendor, invoice, cross amount, PO number, dog date, shipment number. Those data automatically reads. And we can define those data in OCR tool as well as.
Okay.
And based on the criteria, they are defined by consumers energy. The invoice will be routed to a designated folder in VIM Work Center. Because in ICC tool, we creating some application, and after that we providing some company code or all data, and after that we exporting those with SAP server and executing some background jobs. Then the ICC tools, or means OCR part, what we are telling, we are integrating with SAP server. Then the SAP server can OCR also able to read those data, because OCR picking those data from SAP server, what we maintained in SAP server, like the vendor details, PO number, all those. Okay.
Okay.
So goes to the business dashboard to validate the completeness, means the data is correct or not. We are validating those data in ICC validation client, and correctness of the document that has been ready by OCR, and makes necessary if there has any incorrect thing already in the invoice image, data not matching with the OCR data, then we can correct in validation client. We can correct manually, if because we
Okay.
need to train the invoices in an ICC tool that the image data is speaking correctly or not. That depends on the training of the invoices. We need to train. There has been one field train invoices in ICC tool. We need to do the activities. Generally, user is doing those activities. We consultant not supposed to do the train invoices. We can show the process to the user, then user is doing how to train the invoices, because that is a plain train invoices process. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
So yeah, AP indexer completes data entry for work item, integrated invoice cockpit, or ACP Business Workplace, or VIM Workplace. That is the same thing. VIM Workplace or ACP Business Workplace, we can get all invoice related data. After document invoice number generated, we can get all data, means the invoice number or invoices is falling under which approver and which AP processor, means some roles we are defined. Actually, we have been defined some roles like AP processor, indexer, purchaser. Those roles we need to define in SAP server. Accordingly, the roles can do the activities, means the posting invoices and approving the invoices, or any data correction. Those things they are doing.
Okay.
So
Fine.
indexes
So
in image, yeah, tell me.
yeah. Yeah. So we will learn, like in this course, I'll learn everything, like how to configure the things like role management, or kind of
Correct.
approval and all,
Yeah,
every activity like we will show in the system, right?
yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so the means validation that happens, invoice posting is done in VIM, so that we do not have incorrect data that gets caught in FB60 or MyDoscreen. Sometimes client is asking why they are using VIM instead of plain ACP S4HANA, why they should use the VIM. So that time we can say that we can get some options for Miro posting, like duplicacy to avoid duplicate invoice, to avoid errors. we can have those options in SAP S/4HANA version. But for FB60 means for non-PO invoice posting, we don't have those options. Means for manual posting, we don't have those automatic options. So to reduce all those, we can use the VIM. That is the advantages of VIM. Okay.
Okay, okay. And here I want to just, I want to just bit understand about like non-PO or PO posting. PO means like PO is already created in SAP, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And what about non-PO? SAP PO is not created into SAP server, right?
Yeah,
Or
correct.
something
Non-PO means plain vendor invoice that we are doing the manual posting in SAP server by using FB60 T code. Just a
like.
plain
Okay.
vendor invoice. And a PO invoice means that we are creating the PO and after that GR and
Yeah,
after that
right.
invoice in Miro. Yeah, that is the PO invoice. Miro activities what we are doing manually, that has been reduced. We
Okay.
need not to, yeah, we need not to do those manual activities. The invoices has been posted automatically after one-time activities. We are doing the configuration setup, all things, that one-time activities. If
Hmm.
any exception will trigger anything, then needs to check from it. That is that we can see error in SAP screen anytime, if any error will come or not. Okay, but
Okay.
invoice will post automatically. There has no manual activities. Okay.
So as you are saying that that exception will raise, so we will handle the exception thing also. Like who will take care of this exception?
Yeah, exception will take care by consultant. If any means exception means invalid vendor or invalid tax details. If any, because after all, end of the day, we are using the system. The system may be sometimes picked some incorrect data or anything is not working. Okay, then we need to check why this exception is, because sometimes we change some vendor master in SAP server, but we not updated in ICC tool those things. Okay, so vendor is providing the old data. Okay, so then that is not matching with new data because we change a vendor setup, some vendor master data in SAP server. Change means address or anything, address, any street number, anything we change. So those things not matching. So those need to check why the vendor address mismatch is exception is coming. Those exception we are configuring, actually we consultant are configuring. If anything is wrong, then exception will trigger. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, if
fine.
anything is wrong, yeah, because our main intention need not to post incorrect invoice. Our main intention. Okay, so that is the
Okay,
main.
fine.
Yeah. So this is you can see the business workplace area. We can get the all DP document dashboard. All things means in DP document dashboard. DP means document processing. Okay, invoice number
Okay.
is creating, and after creating the DP number, we can see all DP details in this dashboard area. Okay, that is you can see, I think, DP doc type, NPO or PO. We can see all those things. Okay,
Yes.
this is the dashboard. Yeah, this is the dashboard area screen. Yeah. So that is a manual urgent request. If during the automation posting, maybe sometimes we seen vendor is not providing GR in time. Okay, goods received not in time. So we need to wait some days to get GR. So in that case, we can set up a business rule, wait for GR, 1 days or 2 days it may be. We can set up the general business rule or for waiting to get GR. But in some cases, means for one invoices, we need manual posting on urgent basis. So how we can post, because already we set up the wait for GR business rule and the DP has been under the wait period, so we cannot move that DP. But any urgency will require, we need to post the invoices manually. That how we can post the invoice manually, that options will be there. If we have any urgency, to avoid the exception, to avoid the errors, okay, how we can post the invoice manually, that options will be there, that we can do. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the overall that I shared you. The AP processor goes into their respective queue in workplace management to retrieve invoices. First step is to check the invoice contains mandatory information. In exception list, you can see that is the exception list. I will go a little bit bigger. Can you see now?
Yes, now I
This
can see.
exception list. Yeah. So
Right.
for PO invoices, yeah, we can set those business rules: invalid PO number, invalid vendor, process PO invoice, suspected duplicate, vendor mismatch, or missing mandatory information. Okay, vendor invoice check, PO credit memo processing, valid vendor pay, missing when required. Okay, so unable to match PO lines, no goods received. Those we are maintaining. Means, okay, we can set up a lot of business rules, 100 business rules we can set up, but what a client, as per the client requirement, we are setting those business rules. Okay.
Okay.
If client has no requirement that goods received related, vendor is providing the goods received in time, they not need to create that business rule, goods received related. Okay, vendor is has no much tax code, only 1 or 2 tax codes they are using, they not need to create those business rules. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, we can develop these business rules as per the client requirement. If client has a lot of data against the vendor, means they have a lot of vendor data, then the invalid vendor, invalid those vendor address mismatch, those business rule need to create to avoid the errors. Okay.
Okay.
That is the PO related. And for non-PO invoices, you can see this is the non-PO invoices. Wait, I will. This is the non-PO related process, non-PO invoices, invalid vendor, invalid currency. Those business rule depends when we are going to create the invoices in FB60 or MIRO, then we can see some pop-up. Like first we need to enter the company code, and after that we need to enter the vendor data. After that we need to enter the reference number. So accordingly we can create those business rules. What we are getting the data requirement, accordingly we can create those business rules. If something is mismatching, then exception will trigger, neither exception will not trigger. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that to trigger the exception, there would be some coding part, right? Or how like we will trigger the
Yeah,
exception?
in function module we configured those things. We need generally above activities, a lot of above activities have there. We need to develop a function module and logic will be there. If that is not matching, then exception will trigger. That already that we need to maintain in function module. Okay, and that function module need to assign with its business rules, because only we are not creating these messages. We need to provide logics. Neither exception will not trigger or business rule, those business rule will not executing properly. Okay, so under these messages we need to provide some logic. under function module. Got my point?
Oh, yeah, got it.
Yeah. So this is the RPA software, service entry sheet. Service entry sheet means we can use the service PO or material PO. So for service PO, we need to get the GR number as well as the service GR also. So for those, we need to set up some more business rules for service PO. And for material PO, we can create the general business rules. That is the functionality of service entry sheet.
Okay.
And process PO invoices, that process PO invoices means PO invoice that matches the purchase order and for which there is a goods receipt automatically posts. Assumes that at the time of goods receipt, a service entry sheet is created which pulls in rates from the service level agreement. Actually, for service entry sheet, for service PO, service entry sheet we can get as well as the goods receipt. Without goods receipt, service PO, service means invoice against service PO we cannot get. Means goods receipt is mandatory. We can get the goods receipt. After that, we can create the invoice against service PO. But for material PO, goods receipt we can avoid. Okay, we can avoid if necessary. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. System performs three-way match for PO invoices. Three-way match means they are matching the vendor number, they're matching the reference number, invoice reference number, and PO number. Those things they're matching. Means three things they're matching: vendor number, PO number, reference number. After matching, the invoice has been created. So three-way matching is happening for PO invoices. Okay.
Okay.
And for non-PO invoices, so there has no PO, so only the invoice data can match with a scanned invoice image, means vendor data or reference number or gross amount, those things matching with scanned invoice image. Accordingly, the exception will trigger or not. Okay.